correct. And in order to survive in the world, you have to embrace villainy. All right. Now, people may say, oh, yo, that sounds extreme. I disagree. If everybody praises the quote unquote founding fathers of this quote unquote country, you should at least praise them for the right reason. And the right reason is that they embraced villainy and have been being villains ever since. And with every great story, it's never really the good guys that beat the villain. It's always another villain. You know what I'm saying? So real quick, let me give a shout out to everybody that's in the building. We got Carla Lockhart in the building. What up with it, Carla? We got AB Promotions in the house. What's good with it, bro? My man RG Titan is up in here. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker is in here. She complaining already, but it's all right. You know I'm just talking shit. My man AJ is in the building. What up with it, AJ? And we got my man Kid Gravity in the building, who just did a dope video on some moron that was sitting up there on Twitter talking shit and got his ass roasted. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Kid Gravity for going in on that clown. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Torian Rain. What up with it, bro? So check this out, right? This shit right here. CEO of metaverse company Every Realm is sued by ex-NFL player who claims she pressured him into playing sexually harassing games where clients and coworkers were encouraged to sleep with each other. And then she made racial slurs to black workers. Now, what do you guys think about that? Is that believable? Is this just the woke mob coming after her? Woke, woke, woke. Woke, woke, woke. You know, she didn't do anything wrong ever. Right? Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem. When you got a lot of content creators online that like to play these stupid games and you're comparing women, and certain women are supposed to be so feminine, so much better than quote unquote other groups of women. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you're in a gaslit false reality, that sounds good. But if you're in actual reality, one thing that you can't admit, or one thing that you can't deny, is the amount of mug shots of certain women, the amount of anti-black sentiments and anti-black actions that quote unquote certain women have done. You know, shout out to Margaret Sanger. She one of them feminine women. Matter of fact, she was a feminist woman. And it's funny how the face of feminism has quote unquote changed, right? Shout out to Gloria Steinem. You know, she's one of them quote unquote feminine women. You know what I'm saying? Right? Another feminist woman. But again, it's funny how, you know, the feminism thing is the woke thing, and you know what I'm saying? C-19 mask and all of this craziness, right? But what happens when you have something like this? Well, you got two groups of people, right? WS, and then you got the reject army, because, you know, within every group of people, there's a reject army that says that certain women never did anything wrong ever. Well, when you got the reject army saying the same thing as the WS army, when a situation takes place, that's already giving ammunition for the Court of Public Appeals to say, well, I mean, they have this track record. I mean, that couldn't have ever happened, despite the fact that we got all this evidence saying otherwise. So I'd like to introduce a new sphere. This sphere is going to be called the Keep It Real sphere. Okay? Because we're going to keep it real. Teyo Johnson found out the hard way that he should have embraced villainy. I guess when he was playing in the NFL, it didn't dawn on him. But when he got into corporate America, he found it out the hard way, like so many people do. Now, here's my question. How many people are going to believe this story? He's got a lot of things working against him. We're in the women never did anything wrong ever era. We're in the black men are the villains era. And we got a boss bitch who's actually doing the bossing, which these kind of boss bitches have always been around for a very long time, tracing back to the plantation days. So this is nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, the audience has just been, quote unquote, cross pollinated, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? What do I think that he should have done? I don't think he should have stuck around at a company that treated him like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he should have done that. The only reason why I would have stuck around at a company like that is I'd have stuck around enough to gather as much evidence as I could, and probably would have raided the office supply room, got some, paper and pencils and notepads and, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, toilet paper, depending on what size, quote unquote, container I bring to work every day. You know what I'm saying? Then I would have laid it out. Then I would have filed a lawsuit. But me personally, I really probably wouldn't have been working at that company. I used to work in corporate America and I stopped. I was watching that Tariq Nasheed comedy. There's a channel on YouTube called Tariq Nasheed Comedy. And I was laughing so hard when he was telling the story about TJ Holmes and Amy Roebuck, because like everything that he was saying was accurate. And I remember that from my corporate days. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't pay me to go back to corporate America. And a lot of what he was talking about is the reason why. And it's just so funny that I happened to be watching that video today. And then this comes out because this is saying the same thing, except for this is militant right here. This is a sick game right here. And the reason why this woman is playing this sick game is because she's not expecting any consequences. Now, what I find fascinating is that a lot of people go in on certain women because of their education, right? Yeah, it does, Torian. It does. But you know what's crazy though? The women that everybody goes in on because they got education, I never hear any stories about things like this going on. I never hear any stories about them touching little kids in school. I never hear any stories about some sick, twisted sex nonsense. I don't know if you guys know about what was going on with that girlfriend of that FTX CEO, but man, apparently she was busting it open. I ain't never really heard about nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But again, we live in a false reality where not only, people like the dominant society, but our little internal group of rejects tends to say similar things. I hope he recorded everything too, bro. I hope he recorded everything too. So now here it says Teyo Johnson, a former tight end for the Oakland Raiders, filed a suit against Every Realm CEO Janine Urio in August. So this happened way back in August. And it's January of 2023. Here's my question. How many people heard about this? Now, see, Ron DeSantis, the Manhattan Institute, people like Tim Pool, the Quarterling, Geeks and Gamers, you know what I'm saying? The outraged, oppressed, straight white male brigade, they've created a really bad situation for black people, black men especially. And the reason why they've done that is because using their dog whistles, because yes, they respond to dog whistles. Now, anytime a black person attempts to bring a complaint about anything going on, it's automatically dismissed as woke. And that's become the American culture. America embraces that as the culture. When you hear him talk about Ron DeSantis and Tucker Carlson, they call these people culture warriors. So it's part of the American culture for black abuse and victimization. So now this guy's got a problem, right? And it's a very different looking problem because in most cases, it's the women who are complaining about the sports, the athlete. But now we got a situation where the athlete is saying, yo, this hyper masculine bitch was on some crazy shit at the job, and I don't feel comfortable here. That's just woke. Woke, woke, woke. Woke, woke, woke. Woke, woke, woke. Woke, woke, woke. Those minorities are complaining about stuff all the time. Yeah, him too. Yeah, absolutely, the Quarterling. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Quarterling and Ryan Kennel, they like disrespected a George Floyd mural or whatever, and then they run that fake narrative as if we were all in the middle of the street banging on the White House to put up George Floyd murals all over the place when actually there was only one of us banging at the White House, and his ass got the biggest sentence out of everybody who was actually doing shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. That's the fake reality that we live in, the fake reality of how people like Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity can sit around on Fox News and say that they burned their own neighborhoods down, talking about the George Floyd protest, when actually it was the Boogaloo Boys, a white supremacist militia, who burned down the police and actually got prosecuted. And you can look up a Minnesota newspaper and read that. It's in there. Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, the 2-year anniversary of January 6th is coming up. Facts. Super facts. Super duper facts. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, he alleges in court documents that she pressured him into sexually harassing Games to sleep with other employees and clients. Now, here's the thing that's funny, right? This actually sounds very believable. I believe every word of this. Like I said, because I've been in corporate America, and also I know how sick some of these people can be. And again, this is the same thing that they've been doing. Look, I know we commit all the crimes. We commit all of the crimes. Every single crime that goes on in the United States, we commit all of them, except for the weird ones. Except for the weird ones that involve sexual assault. We don't commit the majority of those. Sexually assaulting minors, we don't commit the majority of those. Teachers inappropriately having relations with their students, we don't commit the majority of those. But I mean, hey, she was just kidding, right? I mean, that's what the First Amendment is there for, to express yourself. And racism is an expression of an ideology. So that's just those First Amendment rights, right? I mean, this is actually Teyo's fault because, why are you being so sensitive? It's just a joke. Hee hee hee. Hee hee hee. Ha ha ha. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 3. Really? Shout out to Janesta Coleman for the super chat. She says, hello, family. I didn't get my notification. I'm glad you reminded me. If you guys can, there's a survey in the chat. If you guys can hit where you got your notification from, let me know. All right. Also, if you guys got a notification and you're not able to see that survey for whatever reason, give me a thumbs up in the comment section and make sure you guys show Janesta some love. Definitely appreciate that. So now we are in a situation, where because of the public attitude and because of the culture, as well as the culture warriors, the actual culture warriors, they've made a situation where you're guilty until you prove that the other person actually did something. You know what I'm saying? Torian says he posted a video on Twitter yesterday that went viral of black people fighting white men in a mall, and they spun it into one of those narratives. Right. But you know what's crazy? Stories about Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wilmington, North Carolina, Slocum, Texas, and shout out to Torian, speaking of which, for the new series that he's about to do about the race massacres. Make sure you guys are subscribed to his channel so y'all can check out that series. None of those stories ever go viral for some reason. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting. It's interesting. But it's not so interesting when you realize that the tech companies are a lot of the CEOs of these the tech companies have a lot of CEOs that were former intelligence employees of the government. Makes sense. The United States government for a long time has put a lot of money and efforts into stopping information clarity as well as empowerment efforts for Black people. So why we wouldn't assume that they would use those same tactics on social media platforms? Kinda naive, right? Kinda naive. Just like it was kinda naive that this guy thought that he would work at this clown company and have an easy time. You should be prepared for war. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says a former NFL player is suing the CEO of a metaverse company, claiming she pressured him into playing sexually harassing games and discriminated against him because he's Black. Teyo Johnson, a former tight end for the Oakland Raiders, filed a lawsuit against Every Realm CEO Janine Yorio in August, claiming that she presided over a toxic work environment. He alleges in an amended suit obtained by DailyMail.com that Yorio pressured him into sexually harassing games in which coworkers and clients were encouraged to sleep with each other. Now, here's my question. Shouldn't she be able to be charged criminally for something like that? That's damn near similar to an escort service, especially seeing how this is going on at work, meaning that there was financial exchange. You know what I'm saying? And it's just also not very ethical if you're the boss, the CEO of a company, to attempt to put your employees in that kind of situation. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please make sure you guys take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, don't be scared. Make sure you hit that bell icon twice so that you get the notification, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? And also make sure you guys check out my backup channels and my other social media. You get notifications from there also. So now here it says lawyers for the metaverse company, which develops and sells virtual real estate, have vehemently denied these allegations instead claiming that Johnson made the inappropriate comments at its New York office. And now this is what everybody will believe. I mean, because why? Because he's a Black man, and that's what Black men do. All we do is commit all the crimes. All we do is get everybody pregnant, and all we do is just run after every woman, drooling. That's all we do. 24 hours in the day, we spend 23 hours doing exactly that. Nothing else. None of us work. None of us take care of our kids. None of us study. None of us do anything. I mean, so why would anybody not believe that? Right? Why would anybody not believe that? Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I don't feel that way. But that's American culture to look at Black people like that. Look at Black men like that. Just ask a lot of these Black immigrants, and you know what I'm saying? They feel that way. Just ask a lot of the African women's moms and dads who tell them, "Don't you bring home no Okada." I mean, look at the way that the Amy Roebuck and TJ Holmes story is being spun. TJ Holmes just kidnapped her and did everything to her and just completely turned her out. And she didn't do anything wrong ever, despite the fact that they both were married. Now, in that TJ Holmes and Amy Roebuck story, have they both been getting equal scrutiny? I mean, if you listen to that story, the way that the mainstream media has been portraying it, you would think that there was only one guilty party, which I swear it's been a long time since I've taken a math class, but I could have sworn it took two to tango. So it's just interesting how all the articles coming out all have TJ Holmes' name really big in the headlines, and you don't find out about Amy until later on in the paragraph. And what else is interesting is they both were married. They both were consensual, willing participants. Torian said they posted a picture of them the other day kissing. Yeah. Exactly. They made a mountain out of a molehill with that story. They was messing around. You know what I'm saying? Had some work wife, work husband type stuff going on, got out of control. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, man, if you listen to the mainstream media, man, you'd swear Amy Roebuck's body is missing somewhere. Now, we're all in this together as men, right? Shout out to we're all in this together as men. Man, I haven't seen not one of those outraged pro male white content creators make any videos about the TJ Holmes and the Amy Roebuck situation. As a matter of fact, you know, all of those anti-feminist red pill men, you know what I'm saying? The masculine people that have the veins popping out, you know what I'm saying, with the testosterone just dripping from their pores. Man, I haven't heard any of them say anything about this and the white feminism involved in this. Because, I mean, you know, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. I guarantee you this bitch probably got a PhD. Post-truth reality is our current location in the universe. You know what I'm saying? Torian says, I don't know if you saw Tariq last night, but he played a video about the white woman who got into that fight at Waffle House. Well, they were on her side until they found out. I didn't see that. I think I watched half of Tariq's live stream from last night, but I didn't get to that part yet. I'm probably watch the rest of it at work tonight. You know what I'm saying? Whose video was it? I think it was actually yours, Torian. I saw that video where that woman, the Oakland Raiders seem to be problematic. She was harassing a black man at an Oakland Raiders game. She was messing around with black men. She went from a hero to a mud shark in 2.5 seconds. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Well, I wonder if she realizes that the world is correct yet. You know what I'm saying? This is her right here. This is the crazy woman that is allegedly doing all this stuff. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie or pull any punches. You know what I'm saying? She looks like a Karen. She absolutely looks like she would do this kind of stuff. She looks maniacal and narcissistic. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. You have on like I don't know what this is, like a black sweater, short sleeve shirt with a cheetah skin dress. Mind you, the cheetah skin, right? She got the cheetah skin dress on and some flats. And look like she's wearing pantyhose. I don't know who dresses like that, but whoever dresses like that, you already know off the rip that they have some kind of issues. Yeah, she looked like that's why she got that headpiece in. Did you see this? You see she got the microphone right in front of her face? She ready. That Bluetooth probably got voice command and everything. You know what I'm saying? Go gadget police. You know what I'm saying? And she's a techie. You know what I'm saying? She works at this metaverse company. She probably had a damn virtual reality police coming all out the computer to come get his ass. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Johnson's lawsuit is just one of 3 though. Filed against the virtual reality company, accusing Yorio of sexually harassing black employees and subjecting them to racial remarks, even once threatening to trade Johnson if he did not perform his job. Listen, I got the remedy for her. Wherever Mano is at, we just need to hook Mano up with her, and she can abuse him in a racist way, and Mano can just love it. You know what I'm saying? And them two can, you know what I'm saying, after they get done, go smoke some Newports and watch Slave play. You know what I'm saying? That'll take care of that little situation right there. Shout out to my man, JB Easy. Yeah, she's all kind of, yeah. She's dressed like a coffee shop Karen, real talk. You know what I'm saying? So now together, They are seeking $1.9 million in damages from the Andreessen Horowitz-backed company that invests and develops in virtual worlds. Let's take a wild guess. Horowitz, huh? Anybody want to take a wild guess what ethnicity that last name belongs to? In his lawsuit filed in Manhattan federal court, Johnson claims Yorio encouraged him to play a sex-related game during a business trip to the SXSW festival in August. I absolutely believe that. I absolutely believe that. Hey, you want to play some strip poker? I'm sure you do, because if you don't, you'll get fired. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, man. Shout out to Mano. I actually met Mano before, man. Mano is a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just a wild dude, man. He's a Mano is a product of his environment, man. You know what I'm saying? I actually met that dude before. That is he is actually he's a cat. I actually encountered him twice, and he remembered me the second time, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just joking. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. It's just funny because he said that on that podcast, but Mano a cool dude. But I mean, yeah, I mean, he said it. He said this is what he was looking for. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Go get you a job right there. It's right there in New York, too. Just it's in Manhattan, too, just over the bridge. It's just over the bridge. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, according to the suit, Yorio used the emphasis KYP, meaning know your personnel, meaning know your client, to signify having sex or hooking up with your coworkers and business partners. Now think about this, right? This woman looks like she has about a half dozen cats at her house, and she's more interested in wanting to strategically put together these matchmaker orgies with her coworkers. That's sick. That's controlling. She's got some weird female cucklery type stuff going on. Here's the thing. I believe this dude. I believe it 110%. She allegedly told Johnson, who worked as the company's director of strategic partnerships, that the way to play the game was to get laid by a coworker on a business trip. And I mean, they said that she was just out here spewing all kinds of anti-black racism too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be funny, but I guarantee you she repeatedly, constantly, repeatedly referred to this dude and talking about BBC and all of that shit. How much y'all want to bet? Do y'all think she did that? I think she did. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I bet you not only does she have swingers parties, I bet you she has swingers party for her workers, and I bet you she doesn't even take part in them. I bet you she just sits there, you know what I'm saying, like with some Werther's originals with her glasses on and just watches. You know what I'm saying? She sits there with a resting bitch face eating some bonbons just watching. Like this ooh. Mm. So now here it says Yorio is then accused of asking him if he would be doing any KYP on the trip, which the suit says took Johnson aback. I mean, like, why would she ask him, hey, Teyo, you gonna be doing any KYP with that BBC on the trip? Like, really? This is cornball crime that is believable. This they need to have a classification of cornball crime. You know what I'm saying? Because she's sitting up here looking like Daria from MTV, and I bet you she said it in the Daria voice too. Hey, Tio, So we have that business trip next month. I think it's supposed to last about a week. How many honey bunnies you're going to be rolling around with? Make sure you try really hard. Your raise depends on it. Like, really? Man, this is so believable. So believable. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? It's resting bitch face, not even laughing, just literally just saying this shit as if we're talking about first quarter objectives. I have an objective for you. I just hired 4 new interns. They're really cute. They look like the Spice Girls. I'm going to need you to have them all fucked by the second quarter, 2 of them pregnant. If you don't, you won't be getting that end of the year bonus we talked about. Like, are you serious? Really? The whole light skin brigade should apply. TJ Holmes. Now, that's what she should do. She need to go hire a whole bunch of rogue light skinned dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like TJ Holmes and Tiger Woods, and just keep track. Just have her own little bookie, and you know what I'm saying? Just do all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? So now here it says Miss Yorio asked Mr. Johnson had he, and his name is Mr. Johnson, so you know she was playing on that. And I guarantee you she never called him Mr. Johnson either. I bet you she used to call him Big Johnson. Or she liked to make up, she liked to use initials. So she probably said some corny ass shit like BJ or something like that. Hey BJ, come to my office real quick. Look at this. Look at this. In other words, Miss Uriel asked Mr. Johnson if he planned on having sex or hooking up with any coworkers during the SXSW, insinuating that doing so was strongly encouraged. What? What? He says he politely informed her that he was already really close with someone. But later that evening, Johnson alleged that Yorio went to his hotel room in Austin and insinuated in no uncertain terms that she believed he would cheat on his girlfriend to participate in the company's KYP game. Now, see, this right here, this should be a movie. You know what I'm saying? This should be a movie because this is some corporate level bullying. You know what I'm saying? This is some corporate level bullying. It was apparent to him that Miss Yorio, and see, it says Miss, right? So I think that means that this woman's not married. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that she's married. The CEO of his new employer, who had told him during his interview, he was, oh shit. Oh, she told him during his interview that he was more than just a pretty face. She was inappropriately testing the waters with him, according to the suit. Oh, see? Look at it. Look. She was probably she was probably switching legs, you know what I'm saying? Crossing legs during the interview, wiggling her foot around. Probably had the pencil in her mouth. You know, I want you to be more than just a pretty face at this company. I know you applied for the tech analyst position, but one just opened up for community dick, and you look like a great candidate for it. This woman lives on an island in her own head, and she barely survives the island each time. This is one of those kind of women who should be the center of attention in the middle of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? The lawsuit also alleges that Yorio made offensive jokes about Johnson's girlfriend's menstrual cycle. Oh, God. And referred to him as both a stupid black person and the whitest black person. See, there you go, right there. And that right there is that shit that white conservatives did during the 2020 election cycle. They also did that with Barack Obama. Again, anytime a quote unquote white person attempts to question a black person's blackness, is the same shit they did with Kaepernick. Oh, well, he was raised by a white family. What does that have to do with anything? And especially, what does that have to do with anything coming from you saying it? You know what I'm saying? What does that have to do with anything coming from you saying it? Guess what? Guess what? Your boy Thomas Jefferson have some black family members too. So do George Washington. So you got to be careful when they do that. The reason why they do that is because they assume that people are so stupid that somebody will just listen to something because they said it. So I'm curious as to what made her feel that he was the whitest black person that she's ever met. I mean, she must have never listened to a Candace Owens podcast, never saw Larry Elder, never heard Thomas Sowell. You know what I mean? Never looked at any PragerU content, all these weirdos that they find. The reason she kept telling him that he was the whitest black person that she'd ever seen is because her racist ass was attracted to him, and she had to keep repeating that shit to take away his blackness in her eyes. That's why she was saying that shit. She just happened to like him. You know what I'm saying? But she knows that she's a hardcore feminist racist at the same time. So she has to keep repeating that shit. Because, I mean, that's what we do, is just repeat shit. And maybe if we repeat shit long enough, it'll stick. Let's see. Woke, 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 woke. Black people commit all the crimes. 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 Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty effective strategy. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is interesting, right? Because he's a stupid black person, right? Remember that now. Now, if you're stupid, according to white people, then that means that you bliggity black, because we're bell curve dumb. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the 68 IQs in here. Y'all throw a bunch of 68s in the chat for me. Rolling 68s. That's the new name of the gang. You know what I'm saying? Rolling 68s. But now at the same time, he's the whitest black person that she ever met. So again, she don't even realize that she's doing it, but the animal instinct of racism has her taking both sides of the argument, because you're the whitest white person, which white people is only associated with good, bright, and everything white is right. But at the same time, you're the stupidest black person. So what I find fascinating is that she equates white people with stupid black people. If you logically break this down, her equivalence here is that white people are equivalent to stupid black people. Because remember, she referred to him as both. And you'll see that all the time. How did Jim Crow affect anybody that's alive today? Never forget 9/11. We'll let Carolyn Bryant free. We won't give any of the Tulsa survivors a timely trial. We'll scoop up an elderly lady who worked as a desk clerk at some death camp somewhere. Shout out to Tori and Rain for that video. So again, I mean, like, you see this constantly. Neely Fuller Jr. and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing had these people down to a science. You know what I'm saying? Down to a science. Shout out to Jay Bird. So now, look, didn't I just say this? She further is alleged to have called him a D word, a big swinging D, and a FD. So I told you. And the reason why she's calling him this is because she wants to see what flavor his magic stick is. Like, this chick needs some psychological help. You know what I'm saying? She needs some psychological help. But now, one of the reasons why this story won't really get a lot of play, or why it'll get downplayed, or everybody will just code switch and be like, well, I mean, did this guy really feel threatened here? I mean, come on, come on, come on. Did he really feel threatened here? I mean, this guy's an ex-football player. I mean, come on, come on. Is because this is in line with a lot of these other kind of crimes that we see. And what can't happen is we can't shatter the public image. We can't do that. Everything has to remain consistent, or else the card house will fall, because WS is built on toothpicks. So if one of them goes out, the whole thing comes down. Oh, you already know. She'd be watching that all the time, probably at work in her office. She probably has it on her big screen. Now, shout out again to Torian. And this is why I keep telling everybody, man, Torian is a great content creator. Watch his videos, man. You know what I'm saying? He did a video about Jake. I think it was Jake Paul. And Jake Paul got a training tool that resembles what this lady keeps calling this guy. Again, consistent with Neely Fuller Jr., consistent with Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. The obsession is weird. And the thing that's even more interesting about it is that anytime any of these kind of situations comes up, when this kind of stuff is being commentated on by these particular people, they don't see anything wrong with it. So that's never what they address. They don't address that. Now, you know, when it comes to Bill Cosby or R. Kelly or something like that, they're going to talk about all this sexual degeneracy and, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to talk about this masculine, strong woman that really actually wants some Mandingo action. She needs to go to one of those, strip clubs. You know what I'm saying? Or get her a membership at a bodybuilder gym somewhere and just sit, you know what I'm saying, in the front lobby and eat some popcorn or something like that. She needs a cold shower for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to RG Titan for answering the Nightbot. Appreciate it, bro. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. The loss. Now, here's the thing, right? There's some, shout out to Janesta for answering that Nightbot. There's some content creators who are gonna spin this story and they're gonna be like, see, we's the most desired. See, we's the most desired. See, we the most desired. Okay. Here's how you deal with that. Do you want to be desired by somebody like this? Because this isn't desire. This is somebody looking to degrade you. You know, prostitutes can say that they're the most desired too, but prostitutes are selling their bodies because they're willing to sell what should be special to them for a price, because they don't have self-esteem and don't understand that they should uphold a certain level of self-respect. Okay, date whoever you want to. This ain't the one though, bruh. This isn't a sign that someone desires you. A sign that somebody desires you is being with you the entire time, when you're down and out, sticking with you to when you're at the top. You know what I'm saying? Always having your back. Just because somebody says some raunchy comments about you in a sexually degenerate way and just wants to disrespect you sexually, that's not desire. That's narcissism. That person doesn't desire you at all. You're a conqueror. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, for some reason, again, like, we live in a post-truth society, people want to gaslight themselves with that kind of stuff. This ain't it. If you ask me, same thing with that Cher and whatever that young dude's name is, story. That's not it either. That ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Facts. SGR, this society uplifts them people there and shames men that use prostitutes, which is hilarious because if you ask me, marriage is a form of prostitution, but that's neither here nor there. So now here it says, and the lawsuit claims William Kerr, the company's general counsel, once referred to Paris Hilton, an every realm investor who was pictured with Yorio at past events, as a night in Paris. The title of revenge porn video leaked to the internet in 2004. So at this company, as you can see, not only does that female CEO have a, just a mouth where she just says any kind of sexually degenerate comment about whoever she wants to. This is something that their general counsel does as well. Paris Hilton is a client at this company, an investor, and he's referring to her by the title of her the porn that came out about her. You know what I'm saying? So now, again, this is a product of feminism, right? That all of the feminism guys on YouTube aren't going to talk about because it makes them look bad. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. I have called it a cult. I've called it a cult before. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget that, and the video is still up on my other channel. I did a video and I said that I didn't feel that Kevin Samuels needed to go on DJ Vlad. I said that I felt that Kevin Samuels had a big enough platform. He's got enough momentum and he's growing fast enough to where he doesn't need to do anything. He doesn't need any validation from anything. I don't think he had to go on the no jumper. I don't think he needed to go on Vlad. If anything, Kevin Samuels going to those platforms boosted their numbers, but it's not doing anything to Kevin Samuels. For somebody who was an advocate of men understanding their value, no disrespect to the late great Kevin Samuels, but I don't think he even knew his full value. I don't think he realized his full value yet. You know what I'm saying? Before he passed away. You know what I'm saying? Which is ironic and actually practical, because a lot of times people that give the best advice, the reason why they give the best advice is because they suffer from the things that they're trying to prevent other people from dealing with a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and they came in. The reason why I mentioned that is because the cult came in and massively thumbs down my video for no reason. Now, I got plenty of videos from back in the day when Kevin Samuels was around. I react to some of his videos. Some of his videos I'd agree with. Others I would troll him relentlessly. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't even give a opinion on Kevin Samuels or Kevin Samuels content in that video. All I did was said the same thing that I always say. Vlad is a bad idea. Don't do it. Man, the cult came in, massively thumbs down my video. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. But that's groupthink, though. Those are the very people that say that people who advocate for reparations are in an echo chamber. They're in their own echo chamber. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. The very people that talk about identity politics, entire platforms based on their identity. You know what I'm saying? White people in the United States love to throw around identity politics when black people talk about black issues. We've never had identity politics. First of all, you got to have an identity to have identity politics. Second of all, as far as politics goes, policies, there's only ever been anti-black racist legislation in this country. Jim Crow, black codes. So there's your identity politics right there. We've never practiced identity politics. Look at the signatures on the Jim Crow laws. Look at the signatures on the benign neglect memorandum. Who's practicing identity politics? Actually practicing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm saying. We live in a world that's a post-truth reality where things that make people feel good validate their beliefs instead of actual fact-based information. And when you live in that kind of world, it's dangerous. This guy may never get any kind of justice because white people just can't stop saying that if a black person has a problem, it's woke. Now, if this was a straight white male going through this, oh man, Andrew Tate would have broke out of jail. He would have flew over to Just Pearly Things. And you know what? Matter of fact, I'll be interested to see if Just Pearly Things does a podcast about this. Because remember, Just Pearly Things is one of those racism never existed, and it doesn't affect anybody today, people. As much as people like her, like, let's not forget. You know what I'm saying? She one of those, you don't need reparations. And my dad grew up in Chicago, so he knows what it's like being black people. That's the big homie Just Pearly Things. The literal big homie playing Division I in every damn sport. Like Diva Sanders or something. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. So now here says Johnson, whose job required managing celebrity accounts like Hilton's, was said to be horrified that in order to carry out his job duties, he had to listen to derogatory comments and nicknames. So right here, right, you didn't had to listen to derogatory comments and nicknames. You should have stuck in there long enough to get some of that stuff on tape and got out of there. See, Torian had asked at the beginning, well, what would you have done different? That's what I would have done different. I'd have set her ass up. Then I would have went in for my lawsuit. So now here it says Daily Mail has reached out to lawyers for the Metaverse company as well as Paris Hilton's agent for a comment. All right. So this is her and Paris Hilton. See, I told you she still got the resting bitch face. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I bet you her hand is somewhere where it shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? She looks like one of those mean. You know what she looks like? What was the name of that movie? I forget who made that movie. And it was about the black family that was related to the white family, but like they was racist, but I don't know, somehow they still was like together all the time. Wasn't that called The Family That Prays Together or something like that? She reminds me of one of those motherfuckers from The Family That Prays Together, or one of those people from Get Out. She got that flat affect, narcissist flat affect. I bet you her face don't ever change. Like she just always looks like this all the time. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Johnson was hired by the company in July of 2022 when he says Yorio told the then HR director, Kathy Yost, Teyo is the whitest black guy I've ever met, only later to insist she meant it in a good way. See? See? And she's not lying. White people see everybody else as a stain on the planet. And if you do anything similar to them, that in their eyes elevates you to the status of human or quote unquote white. That's how they look at shit. You know what I'm saying? And she meant it in a good way and she meant it in a bad way. And again, like people watch this kind of stuff, they get irritated, they get mad, they get outraged. Hey, why you not outraged at the Daily Mail for reporting this? Why you not outraged at this woman for having this behavior? You're mad at me because of my opinions about it and me linking the things that she's doing to everyday common occurrences that happen all the time everywhere that damn near every single black person can give you a testimony about, an experience about. Man, if there was any black women that worked at this place, man, that lady would have tried to mess their lives up. I'm not trying to be funny, because those hyper prejudiced white women that be wanting some black dude are extremely vindictive towards black women in the workplace. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee, matter of fact, I'm curious. I guarantee you it's not one black woman working at this company. And I see these dynamics all the time. All the time. You know what I'm saying? Don't let her accidentally, you know what I'm saying, mess around with some dude and she end up getting pregnant. She's going to be one of those people that uses her mixed child as a vehicle for her racism, because I've seen that. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, there was an interview with a woman who did something like that on Fox News. I think I did a reaction video to it. Like, these are all real, actual dynamics that happen, and people act like this kind of stuff don't exist. The mainstream media don't ever talk about it. Shout out to my man Jay. What up with it, bro? So now here it says, soon after Johnson says he learned he was the lowest paid director in the company, earning a base salary of $125,000 and a discretionary $40,000 bonus. Then, when he held a successful partnership meeting with LeBron James entertainment company Spring Hills, Yorio told Johnson, "You're lucky that went well. Now I don't have to trade you." See? I told you. See, like, and I'm not trying to be funny, but like, this is her way of flirting with him. That, like, she's flirting with him. But this, in her psychotic mind, you know what I'm saying? Her flirting with him, it has to be degrading. It has to be derogatory. You know what I'm saying? Now she'll say, "Oh, I was just kidding. I only said that because, you know, you used to be a football player." That's not the only reason why you said that. You know what I'm saying? Now the thing is that it's so many people out here that talk about red pill, right? I'm red pill. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what I'm saying? I know the true nature. I know the true nature of these women's and shit like that, right? Okay. If that's the case, if these people are so red pill and they know the true nature of all of these women, how come you'll never see them make no content about situations like this? Where's your explanation on this female nature? Because they've made movies about this female nature. That movie where Idris Elba, I think, what is isn't that his last name? Was married to Beyonce. That movie, ain't it called Obsession or something like that? You're dealing with a female like that in that movie. Like, these are movies are based off of real events. Like, all of this stuff that we see in the news, it's not really news. It's just validation for something that we've gone through or something that we've witnessed in our lives. But what's hilarious, though, is that the very people that perpetrate these kind of crimes will sit there and they'll just look at it. I'm just looking at it. There's no way that this happened. Really? This CEO right here is what those teachers who touch those kids would develop into if they're not caught. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, ultimately, Johnson claims he was fired in retaliation for blowing the whistle on a potentially illegal cryptocurrency gambling scheme involving NFT playing cards of professional soccer players. According to the lawsuit filed in August, the scheme involved a cryptocurrency version of fantasy sports in which users would buy packs of NFTs representing professional soccer player cards. It explains users would enter cryptocurrencies into a pool and then win prize money if their NFT playing cards performed better than other players' NFTs. But the lawsuit says every realm did not have a gambling license in New York, where it was based, and reasonably believed that the game would violate numerous New York and federal laws, as randomizing the packs of cards would qualify as a game of chance and thus be illegal. After he brought his concerns to his supervisors and the NFT project was scrapped, it claims Yorio soured on Johnson and he wound up in her doghouse. Mm, mm. Was it a bed in there? In the aftermath, the lawsuit says his proposal to forge a relationship between Every Realm and the NFL was sabotaged by Yorio and other executives. See, like these people are people of privilege who are just sitting up here playing a game. They're just playing chess with these people like pawns because they have too much money and not enough to do. And that's what people do. That happens all the time. That's one of the reasons why a lot of these companies that don't have any shrink on record install cameras so they can sit there and black people watch all day. You know what I'm saying? That is a real thing. Shout out to Gary and Carla for answering the Nightbot. Appreciate it. So now here it says in the aftermath, the lawsuit says his proposal to forge a relationship between Every Realm and the NFL was sabotaged by Yorio and other executives. Johnson said he had met with executives at NFL.com to forge a partnership and created a project plan with requests to have 3D graphics designed for the proposal. Julia Schwartz, pay attention to that last name, Schwartz. Interestingly, that last name, Schwartz, if I'm not mistaken, means black. A member of the board of directors asked to be kept in the loop in the aftermath and said she wanted to write the proposal herself, according to the suit. However, it became clear within a couple of days that not only had Miss Schwartz not started writing the proposal, but she was secretly preventing anyone in her department from providing Mr. Johnson with the 3D graphics he had requested, the suit states. And now then, this is what they'll do. And then they'll take you in a room and say, you're just not producing. You're just not producing. You're just not producing. Shout out to Janesta for answering the Nightbot. This is what happens to black people in corporate America. So my question is, why do you go to college and dedicate putting yourself into debt to go work at a plantation where black people watch you all day and play games with your fate? They're not going to lose a paycheck. They own the company. They're going to get kickbacks from the stocks. They're going to get profit sharing. They don't care about you. You're getting a little couple tax deductible dollars that you think is some big money. He's making what, $126,000 and a $40,000 bonus to deal with this that you'll deal with at any corporate company that you go to? If he was a former NFL player, why is he even working at a 9 to 5? Why doesn't he have investments or a business on his own that he owns? A lot of athletes, you know what I'm saying, they buy car dealerships. These are all the questions that you got to ask. The expectation when you go to one of these places should never be to be treated any kind of way, because past history should have shown people that as of now, the evidence shows that that's not a capability that these people possess. So you can either live in denial and subject yourself to a career full of torture, or you can do whatever you can to make sure that you have sustainable athletes. Or I mean, sustainable assets. You know what I'm saying? And that's true. A lot of players make hundreds of thousands, not millions. I know the UFC actually used to pay their athletes horrible. They probably still do. Yeah, car wash franchises, gyms, restaurants, buy a restaurant or something like that. You know what I'm saying? A chain or something. Get some investments popping off, buy some, you know what I'm saying, some stock in DoorDash or Grubhub or something. This is what you will be subjected to. See, the CEO of the company and all of them, those are the ones that are living the American dream. The American dream is to be able to exercise your freedom of expression and treat other people how you want to. All you're going to do is just make a couple dollars and buy a little rinky-dink house somewhere. And that's what you spend your whole life aspiring to, as if that's going to somehow change the world. People better wise up and embrace villainy. Because let me tell you something, being a hero don't play or don't pay. And in most cases, the hero winds up dead anyway. And if you're trying to live, you can't do that very well if you're dead. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says under pressure to get the proposal completed, it says Johnson decided to write the proposal himself and included a skybox meeting place Yario had proposed in which fans of each NFL team could meet virtually with the players. But when he handed it to Yario, the suit claims she refused to send the proposal back to NFL.com, telling Johnson, we don't need to be detailed in what we can build out. We need to be vague. And see, like, this is just her flirting. This is her type A, you know what I'm saying, extrovert, alpha female, domineering, misandrous flirtation. She's flirting with this dude. You know what I'm saying? But because she has a sick psychological issue, that's how it's coming out as. That's exactly what the situation was. That you can just basically tell. RG Titan said Teyo Johnson looks like he was down bad, and this Becky wanted to help him out in a sinister way. Yeah, and I mean you could see it. You know what I'm saying? How do you deny it? Now the thing is that it's not us that's denying this. It's everybody else. And that's part of what they've done. They've built a foundation to where you're either lying or you're guilty until you've proven yourself to be telling the truth. And even then, if you prove yourself to tell the truth, if you're telling the truth about somebody like her, the minimum punishment applies. And victim shaming is the norm. Again, because that is the American way. That is American culture. If it's not American culture, then we have to ask ourselves, why is it a repeated pattern? Why is it a repeated pattern of something that goes on in the United States that's specific to the United States if it's not part of the American culture? You know what I'm saying? So now here it says a spokesperson for the company has now vehemently denied the allegations in a statement to Daily Mail, calling them lies. As we have stated in our court filings, this employee worked at the company for only 3 months and was terminated for poor performance, like I just said, expense account abuse, and falling asleep on the job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying? Sound like old girl is probably wearing him out. The company also alleges in court documents that Johnson openly and routinely disparaged the mother of his child and demanded that everyone pay a portion of his wages in cash to avoid garnishment for his child support payments. Do you guys think that they have proof of that? This is about to be messy. You know what I'm saying? This is about to be messy. So now here it says company executives refused his demand, they claim. Johnson made various inappropriate comments in the workplace regarding other women in his life. Hazed the junior, look at this, hazed the junior female employee by disparaging her as a rookie and refusing to meet with her, quote unquote, right? Refusing to meet with her. I wouldn't be surprised if that had something to do with the boss's little weird you know what I'm saying, you got to meet up with these bitches thing that she wanted everybody to do. It'll yeah. Yeah, it'll wear you, especially dealing with one of them mean ones. She looked like she's mean and demanding and expects a certain performance every time. You know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna let you forget. Take it out on your ass in the workplace. You know what I'm saying? Like she's doing. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, look at this. They also said Johnson referred to Schwartz, a co-founder at the company, as that B, and Yario as that crazy B. Well, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. That sounds about right. You know what I'm saying? The lawyers further write in a motion to dismiss that Johnson's original claim that he was discharged solely on the account of his race has been cast aside in an effort to avoid arbitration. Aside from his failure to plead a sexual harassment claim, the evidence will show that it was Johnson who encouraged discussions regarding sexuality and promiscuity. But Johnson is not the only former employee to make these kind of allegations against every realm and its executives. So this guy right here, former employees Gatsby Frimpong. So this guy got to be like a non-FBA cat right here. He probably thought he was in heaven until it turned into hell. And Kathy Yost. Now they said that Kathy Yost was the HR person, right? If I'm not mistaken, earlier in the story, they said that this Kathy Yost woman was the HR person. So now that's interesting that she's filing a lawsuit. They've also filed lawsuits against Yario and other executives at Everrealm. Another now they calling this dude an African American. Another African American employee, Gatsby Frimpong. That is not no African American. That dude is an immigrant from somewhere. Who the hell named their child Gatsby and whose last name is Frimpong? Why do the white media call these black immigrants African Americans? Why don't they say Haitian American or, you know what I'm saying, Senegalese American or, you know what I'm saying, Jamaican American? Why are they calling this dude a quote unquote African American? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AB. Appreciate it, bro. That's a Ghanaian name. I knew it wasn't a FBA name. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, why does the media do that? You know what I'm saying? So now here it says they alleged in a suit filed last week in Manhattan federal court that he was paid less than a white engineering director was for similar work. Well, I mean, you went to work at a white company. So I mean, I don't know what you expect. Shout out to Abby. What up with it, Abby? If you go, there's a reason why all white neighborhoods are all white neighborhoods. So if you go there and somebody treats you weird because you're not white, I don't know what you were expecting. So you go to this company that has a racist white feminist CEO and you're expecting to be treated like royalty. That right there is some non-FBA mentality. That is what those people's parents teach them. Nigga. I got a good job doing a lot better than the Akatas at Everrealm getting paid big money. Then you find out you're not getting paid as much as those white people that work there. Now, why do you think that is? Because racism doesn't exist. It doesn't affect anybody. And all we need to do is pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, right? So instead of complaining about what you walked into, why don't you pull yourself up by the bootstraps and start your own tech company? You see how that shit works? All these non-FBA people that come over here, and shout out to my man, Mr. Knox, that talk about we're lazy. All we do is drugs. We can't do shit because we're high off of Xanax and ecstasy. Well, how come you didn't get paid as much as your white counterparts at that job? Racism don't exist. As a matter of fact, most of those non-FBA people, like that dude that Kid Gravity did that video on, man, they need to get dogged, clowned, and dragged anytime they talk about racism. Because remember, racism is only laziness that FBA people talk about. That's all it is. We're lazy. We're lazy and stupid. And we're high all the time. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think 50 Cent is 100% FBA. And I'm pretty sure he made a song with the chorus that said, I stay high all the time. I smoke that good shit. I'm high all the time. But whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. They come to the United States and tell us that we need to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. If we need to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, then them people need to go get a whole new set of shoes and bring it back to their country. Like, miss me with that bullshit. What's your excuse for this? Y'all get to go around and tell black people that we don't do shit and we blame everything on racism. You're mad because you found out that some white person at a majority white company is getting paid more than your ass. And the first nigga, this was racism. They don't pay me the amount that I'm supposed to be paid because I'm black. But at first it was black. You know what I'm saying? They got to figure it out, man. They got to figure it out. But unfortunately, in most cases, they figure it out the hard way. But they get their world is correct lesson all the time. But for some reason, they don't learn. So now here it says he also claims Yario refused to consider him for promotion after he rejected her sexual advances. I told you, Yario be one to get busted down. But she's a racist. She said, "Oh, you're not gonna take care of me after work. I'm not gonna take care of you financially." Right. Exactly, Tone. Now you sound like Candace Owens. Racism doesn't exist unless you sue your school for racism. That's the whole concern. That's the black conservative bag right there. Racism doesn't exist except for when it occurs to them and when it's a liberal that does it. Any other time, it's not racism. But now Candace Owens is allegedly against feminism, and here goes a feminist issue right here, an empowered woman abusing her power. Have we seen Candace Owens say anything about this? You know what I'm saying? So again, like when it comes to these situations, these people are all hypocrites and they're all frauds. And that's one of the reasons why they get paid so much money by the WS media. You know what I'm saying? And once told him at a meeting about engineering and product that it is look at this. It is important that he get the customer wet, just like he would do with a woman. And I'm not trying to be funny, but a lot of narcissistic people, they always sexualize jokes. Like I said, I believe this 100%. She probably had the same facial expression on. He probably was like, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh my god, nigga, you will never believe what happened to me today." Oh my god, nigga, pick up the phone. I gotta call somebody to tell them about this. Nigga, listen to me. I was at work today, okay? And my boss, she put me in the office. She said, "Sit down." I said, "Okay." I sat down. She wasn't very happy with my sales performance. She said, she leaned over the table and she unbuttoned the top of her shirt. And she got 2 inches away from my face. I could smell the potato salad on her breath. Then she reached over the table and put her hand on my crotch. And she said, you need to get the client wet like a woman. Then she reached under her skirt, put her hand in her underpants, and rub it across my face. And then she said, get out of the office before I fire your black ass. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Man, I bet you he was sweating something horrible. I bet you if that shit happened at 11 o'clock, his ass sweated all the way to the end of his shift. By the time he got home, his whole driver's seat in his car was soaking wet like a damn sponge. He was probably scared and shit too. He went back home to his girlfriend. His girlfriend was like, hey, sweetheart. She like, hey, well, what's wrong with you? Nothing. Nothing. I'm okay. How are you, babe? You know what I'm saying? Like, that nigga was scared. His boss put the fear of God in him with that old evil ass, I'm gonna rip your dick off if you don't do what I tell you to shit. Like, oh. That's that alpha female shit though, man. That's that extrovert. That's that alpha personality, man. That type 1, type A. You know what I'm saying? Man, you know who else would have liked it? Never mind, I ain't even going there. Let me shut up. She allegedly asked him whether he was in. She asked him whether he was in a relationship, and on another occasion, she said she and her husband Jesse, whom she had hired to work at the company, were only married in the metaverse. See, a spokesperson for the company. See, I'm not trying to be funny, but these motherfuckers here. These motherfuckers here that have these racism, but I want to fuck with somebody that's not a different race issues, you need to go and use some of that health insurance that you have. Go see a psychiatrist before you start dating. Go see somebody for that shit. She messing around with all the wrong motherfuckers. I told y'all she need to go up the street, go across the GWB and find Mano. He'll handle her ass. That's what she want. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Keith West. What up with it, bro? But this is what she said. She allegedly asked him whether he was in a relationship, and on another occasion, she said her husband Jesse, whom she had hired to work at the company, were only married in the metaverse. A spokesperson for the company said the allegations laid out in his lawsuit are absurd, claiming that he worked remotely for Miss Yario and only interacted with him a few times on video calls. Meanwhile, Kathy Yost, 46, who claims she knew Yario in high school and got a job as a human resource officer after Yario posted about the job opportunity online, also sued the company over discriminatory illegal policies and acts, including sexually suggestive remarks about colleagues' lives and orientation. And see, I'm telling you, man, I believe this shit. I believe that this lady actually did this. Because these kind of people always do and say the same kind of stuff. But before we had even got to these parts of the article, I was joking around saying what I thought she said. Turns out she damn near said exactly what I was saying. She alleges in her suit filed back in August that she confided in Yario that she suffers from alcohol use disorder in hope that Miss Yario would be her ally to help her deflect attention from the fact that Miss Yost does not drink at company gatherings. You told the wrong person that. If anything, this Yario chick, she about to get a whole bunch of dudes and she about to just keep feeding you alcohol and sit there and watch them motherfuckers run a train on you, because that's the kind of demented, derogatory, deranged female this is. But Yario allegedly used the high personnel and confidential information to taunt Miss Yost in front of employees by telling them at an event We need to get Kathy 6 drinks. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Oh, you got an alcohol problem? I'm about to find the most attractive people that work here, and I'm just about to give you free drinks all night and sit there and see what happens. Didn't I tell you that that's what she was going to do? So now here it says, Yost also claims executives did not accept that she was a single mother, openly bisexual, disabled, and refused to rubber stamp every realm's discriminatory and illegal policies acts. Her suit says that she was fired just one day after she informed her superiors that she would not comply with their plainly illegal, retaliatory, and discriminatory personnel policies that made women and other protective groups second-class employees at EverRealm. It says that while working at the company, Yost noticed that employees who questioned the identity of EverRealm's Metaflower Super Mega Yacht NFT, they were fired. They got all these NFTs popping out. They need to go give my man FN Mecca a job. She'd be up there messing around, sexually harassing FN Mecca too. FN Mecca come out with a YouTube short. I had to moonwalk on this bitch face, yo. And her suit says Yario would refer to an employee with autism as the team mascot and another ADHD as a moron and an idiot. I totally believe this. Still, the spokesperson says these are nothing more than baseless allegations from a disgruntled former employee seeking to cause harm to our company. He added that the company will defend against the false allegations made by former employees who are demanding multi-million-dollar settlements. Our company works hard to foster a supportive, inclusive workplace, and we will continue to defend against these lawsuits. The company has since filed its own legal actions against the plaintiff in an attempt to take the complaints out of litigation and into arbitration. All right. So now here's my question. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think that there is truth behind this? Or do you think that, this woman, is telling the truth? She never did any of this. These people are crazy. This is nothing more than a woke agenda against her. You know what I'm saying? And she's the real victim here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man, MC Fact. What up with it, bro? So what do you guys think? I'm actually interested to see how this goes. And I'm actually interested to see if there's going to be any more media coverage about this. AB Promotion says that he believes it. Yeah, I believe every word of this. I not only believe what Teyo Johnson said, but I believe that non-FBA guy, and I believe that that Yost woman as well. I believe both of them, or I believe all of them. I believe them. I believe that this most definitely happened. You know what I'm saying? Mike Jefferson says she told me to climb to the turnbuckle and finish her. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. And while you were finishing her, she would probably have that same resting bitch face. And then tell you to get up and go get some cigarettes and make a sandwich. Because that's the type of woman she seems like. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section, you guys, because that is the end of the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. All right. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice, smash the like button. Please make sure you guys share this video out. Also, leave some comments at the end. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys share any follow-up information, y'all know how to get it to me so we could talk about it some more. I appreciate each and every one of you guys that was in here checking this out, and I will catch you all on the next video. All right. Peace.